Good morning, students. It's me, Miss Sonia, and today we are back with another lesson. As you all know, that we have completed transport and communication part 1 in the previous lecture. So today we are starting with transport and communication part 2. Before moving forward, let me just highlight you a couple of guidelines which you have to follow. For the first thing, hurry up, grab your notebook along with pen or pencil and start writing the important pointers. And the other guidelines which you're already familiar with, you have to follow each and everything which I've already mentioned you before. So let's move forward. I am zooming the screen for you so that you can see very clearly that what exactly is the content. All right. Transport and communication part 2. Now, let's start with the first slide. Question number 1, which says that define dry ports. As I already mentioned you, that kindly try to break the terminology so that you can identify the meaning. Answer. A dry port is a port situated near sea. If the importer or exporter is far away from a seaport, it will be an inconvenience to coordinate and handle the goods properly. So government of certain countries allows CFCs, container freight station, to handle export and import formalities under customs supervision. The cargo will be moved by rail or road from the seaport to CFCs. All right. Now, see, dry port, you can say that dry port is the center point. Dry port is situated near sea. The reason why it is known as dry port, because here we are talking about dry land, all right, and port, yani, the place where it is situated. Okay. Now, importer is the person. For example, you are buying a product from any other country, and export is something that you are giving your product to another country. So that is known as import and export. If the importer or exporter is far away from the seaport, then definitely it will not be convenient for both of them to meet at a certain point. They have to decide a certain point, the middle point where they could meet each other, all right, and they could discuss about those goods properly with each other. So, government of certain countries, they have decided container freight station, that is known as dry port, where both of the importer and exporter meet each other, and they basically decide about their goods and services, and they decide about everything, that how they have to manage things for further. Okay. To handle export and import formalities under custom supervisions, definitely you have to pay taxations as well. Dry port also contains taxations. Cargo, the term which is written over here, cargo is basically that you're moving bulk amount of items from one place to another. You can say that the bulk amount of items are moved in the large trucks. That large trucks, okay. Cargo, the term cargo is basically used for import and export. All right. Now, explain the importance of dry ports in the economy of Pakistan. Now, there is one more thing I will not repeat again and again, that why am I discussing these things in detail, because each and everything which I'm discussing is much more important for your upcoming AKUEB papers. All right. Answer. The question which is asked over here is that you have to explain the importance of dry ports for the economy of Pakistan. Speed the flow of cargo between ships and major land transportation networks. Create a more central distribution point. Inland ports improve the movement of import and exports, moving the time consuming sorting and processing of the containers inland, away from congested seaports. Now, there is one more thing. See, if we travel through the seaport, or we can say that if we are using the route of seaport, then definitely, if you have to travel goods through seaport, then it will take much more time to transport the goods from one place to another. But yes, if we are finalizing the middle point, if we are using dry port, so definitely it won't contain much time to move one good to another place. All right. So the basic purpose for the economy of Pakistan, that why dry ports are important due to speed and the flow of cargo. All right. List down the dry ports of Pakistan. Well, there are a couple of dry ports which I've mentioned over here: Sialkot, Faisalabad, Lahore, NLC, Wagah. These are not the names of dry port. These are basically the names of those cities where dry ports are situated. These are called co-partners, work inland to grab cargo from the hub seaport. You're grabbing those stuff from there, and then through dry ports, you are transporting it to different places. All right. Now, road transport. As you all know that we have discussed railway transport in the previous lectures, so today we are going to discuss road transport. Road transport is one of the cheapest way, and road transport is one of the easiest convenience if you're talking about different types of transportation. Road transports connect city to city. It also connects country to country, area to area, city to village, easily built and maintained. And the example of road transport is MA Jinnah Road. Alright, you're already familiar with the MA Jinnah Road, and you all know this thing that these all are the reasons why road transportation is important, because you can easily carry material and you can transport easily and cheaply. Cheaply means that it is not that much expensive. You can transport material from one place to another through road transportation. All right, moving forward. Now, when I talk about highway, then highway falls under roads. It is the subheading. All right. Highway connects city to city, it also connects country to country, and it also connects superhighway. Alright. Superhighway, why we are stating this thing, highway is basically that long routed road which is connected with your city. It is connecting your city and the other cities as well. So that is the long route which is known as highway. For example, National Highway and Karakoram Highway. These both highways are important and these both highways are famous. So kindly just keep and remember these highways because there are multiple MCQs which were included in your past papers in this context. All right. Motorways. It connects city to city. It also connects international standards, and it is a three-lane. Motorways means that there are, for example, if I talk about highways, so highways two-way, right? But motorways are three ways. All right. There is a middle road, and there is a road on left and right side as well. That is known as motorway. That is the major difference between highways and motorways. All right. And motorways also. You can say that motorways are also utilized for long distance route. Okay, roads. Road transport is the most popular means of transport. It includes motor vehicles such as buses, trucks, cars, taxis, rickshaws, jeeps, and motorcycles. Road transport carries 82% of the total passenger traffic and 54% of the total freight traffic in the country. As you all know, the details which are over here, these all are the list of vehicles which we used on road transport, which we use for road transportation. All right, it carries about 82% of the total passengers traffic because obviously you have to travel daily through road to go from one place to another, and 54% of the total freight traffic in the country. 54 is all-rounder traffic which we are talking about, and 82% on daily basis, then how much we are traveling. All right. Now, another question. Discuss the reasons behind the development of transportation in Pakistan. Why transportation was developed in Pakistan? Answer: a country cannot progress unless it has a good system of road network. Obviously, it is very important to have a good system of road network because on that basis you have to travel from one place to another. It encourages the development of both agriculture and industries and provide a lot of encouragement for the growth of the tertiary sectors such as banking, insurance, and trading. Now, when we talk about roads, then road is not only benefiting your industrialized life, but yes, it is also beneficial for agricultural activities as well, because you are paying taxations to the government is utilizing those taxations in the building of infrastructures and in different multiple projects. And yes, it is also beneficial for the other sectors as well, such as banking, insurance, and trading, because all the sectors or all the employments, they all of those things require road traveling. All right, not only road traveling, other travelings as well, but road on daily basis, it plays a very important and major role. It improves market intelligence and discourages market imperfections, and also encourages price equalization among different transport regions of the country. Let me give you an example over here. Let's suppose you have to start with an industry. So obviously you need raw material and other equipments as well to just take a start of that industry. So when I talk about raw materials, obviously you have to travel from one place to another to purchase the raw material and then to bring it to that place where it is required. So you can see this is how the system works, and this is why road transportation is much more important. Next question. Around 20% of people travel by road in Pakistan. Explain the importance of road communication in Pakistan. Answer. Road are the most important segment of infrastructures in any developing country. The rapid development and economic well-being is dependent on the road network. The road network in Pakistan carries over 96% of inland freight and 92% of passengers traffic, and are undoubtedly the backbone of the economy. I have already explained you these points in detail before, that why road communication is important, because on daily basis you're utilizing road to travel from one place to another. It is the cheapest means of communication and it is the necessity of each and every human being. All right. So this is the assignment for today. There are three questions which are listed over here, which you have to do in your notebook, and then under my instructions on KP, you have to post your assignment over there. Question number one: define dry ports and explain the importance of dry ports for the economy of Pakistan. Question number two: discuss the reasons behind the development of transportation in Pakistan. And question number three: around 20% of people travel by road in Pakistan. Explain the importance of road communication in Pakistan. I have already discussed each and every question in detail, so I hope that it will really, my presentation will really be helpful for you to complete your assignment. So, thank you so much, everyone, and I hope that all the queries are clear till now because I have explained everything in detail. Inshallah, we'll return back with another presentation for all of you. Till then, take care. Barakallah. Allah Hafiz.